Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel, Natalie's Gardening Adventures. Today I am going to be working on transplanting these Mexican hat plant starts to this pot, taking 3 of these larger ones, putting them into their own individual little pots, and also transplanting the ones that I started in here from the leaves into here, and I will explain all of that in a second. Let me tell you a little bit about this. We have a little bit of rumbling thunder. I'm hoping it's not going to rain. If it does, I will have to pause this, run in, and then come back out and restart this, or maybe not restart it, depending on how far I've gotten. But anyway, I will probably at certain points, go ahead and just either fast forward or stop and show you what I've finished, and so I don't bore you going through every single little thing. But this, let me just tell you a little bit about this plant. It is a succulent. This unique looking succulent is called a Kalanchoe Daigremontiana, and it's commonly called mother of thousands, mother of millions, alligator plant, or Mexican hat plant. It can propagate vegetatively from lots of baby plantlets that grow on its leaves. For example, right here, they are easy to care for. They do, okay, from what I understand, they do enjoy full sun. Mine, however, have not done well with full sun. I will go into that in a little bit, but they are easy to care for. They and they can withstand a drought and getting overwatered to some degree. They are not cold hardy though, so if you need, and like if you live up north or in colder climates, depending on the temperature, you would want to bring it in if you have them in containers. Some care tips: just put it in a well-draining potting soil, which I'm going to be using this Miracle-Gro cactus, palm, and citrus potting mix. I will explain the potting mix that these are in currently, that I'm not that thrilled with. This one I'm not as bothered with. This one, yeah, anyway, I'll go into that in just a second. They don't need a lot of water. I do water this one though daily, just a little, because I do have a lot of the new starts in, I call it the mother soil, but because this is the mother plant, although I refer to him as a him, so yeah, try to figure that one out. Anyway, these I water maybe every other day, but I just sprinkle them, and otherwise the dirt is basically dry, but they do really well. And then after a few days of indirect sunlight, they should be fine to put in a sunnier place once you transplant them. Now, let's see, I want to put my notes somewhere so that they don't fly away, but that they're not in my face either. So anyway, I got this plant. He grew like a weed. When I say a weed, I mean a weed. He was maybe 3 times this size right there. And I originally put him in full sun because that's what I was told he likes. However, he wasn't doing that great. He wasn't doing much. Now, the first couple of leaves that I had on him, these were smaller, but these were the first few leaves that were on him, had a few of the babies on it, and they were falling off, so I had put them into a small little tiny pot, not this one, but a small little tiny pot, and had them in the sun as well, and they did not do well for me. I then moved him into, it started out as a part sun. It's now full shade, the way the sun is moving for the summer in our area. I do live in Florida. We're in zone 10, but I put him into a shady area. He gets full indirect sun, but not actual sun. Or he gets full indirect light, I apologize, not full sun. And he grew like a weed. I mean, like a weed in like no time at all. I've only had him a few weeks, and he's massive, and he's got more leaves coming in here in the center. He's got new ones growing from the stalk down here. These guys though, when I had them in full sun, were not doing well, and as you can see, they are lighter in color than these right here. Even these little tiny baby ones are darker. What I figured out, so when I put this into a full light but no direct sun area, and then they started to do better. They're still not deep green, but they are doing better and they are growing. I then realized when I had a couple of these babies fall into the mother soil, as I call it, and they took, then having taken some of these that actually had a starter root and put them in here and watered them daily, just a sprinkle, they took off like wonderful. I mean, they took off wonderfully. So then what I did was I transplanted them, put them into here with this dirt was, I got it from Ace Hardware. It was designed, it was supposed to be a succulent dirt, but it's primarily perlite. I have no problem with perlite, and you want to have a well-draining soil for this plant, but I personally like a dirt that has more sand in it versus the perlite. This is supposed to have sand. It also has perlite, plus it's got the Miracle Grow, but I'm going to try this one. I haven't tried this one in a very long time, but I'm hoping it's better than this one. But when I went ahead and transplanted them in here, they did wonderfully. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take these 3 larger ones and I'm going to transplant them into these little pots. Then I'm going to take some of the new starts that I have in here. I hope you guys can see it, some of the new starts in there, and I'm going to transplant them into here. I'm also going to move these over here. Part of me wants to kind of keep them in here. However, they're too close and they're going to grow really fast at this point. Well, not super fast, but fast enough. And from this point that I was thinking to put them over here. Now I do have another succulent in here. I'm still trying to figure out its name. I'm going to be doing that as a separate video because I have a full plant that I'm going to be separating the offspring of and putting them into probably this pot and one other pot because they're already starting to have more grow in under other leaves because they don't have any room to come. Yeah, anyway, that's going to be a separate video. Now you're probably wondering, why do I have latex gloves on? I used to only use either no gloves or gardening gloves, but then for health reasons we decided to start always using gloves, and then we kind of needed to shift over to protecting our hands a little bit better. So I wear latex gloves typically under gardening gloves, but I don't need gardening gloves. I want to be able to, these are little, so I want to be able to feel them and not have heavy duty, or not even heavy duty, but you know, thick gardening gloves on. So I'm just using the latex ones. Anyway, that's my story. So now that I explained to you, and I'm going to try to turn him around. I mean, there's so many millions of plants, but as you can see down here, these I started in, like I said, the mother soil, and they took off really fast. Now, one thing I have noticed, because I've never had this particular succulent before, one thing I have noticed though is, like, all you have, a lot of times they'll just fall off once they've gotten larger, but let me see if you can see this. On this particular one, let's see if it's focusing. Are you focusing? Let's do this and see if it focuses. There's not really a root on here, like a white root. I've noticed these will take off after some time, but if you can, I'm going to put it on the table. Because I wait, like these are, you know, you can see that they're larger than this leaf, and obviously these are just starting out. But what I've tried to do is I try to be really careful and pull off all of it, which of course that didn't work. It's making a liar out of me. Let me grab one so I can show you. Yeah, here's one with a root. Hopefully you'll be able to see the actual little tiny little root. But do you see that little tiny root? It's right there. You see that? When I've been able to pull it off with a baby root, and not baby Ruth, but baby root, and I go ahead and I just, let me get an empty spot here. I put it into the mother soil. Oh boy, a bunch of them just popped off. Did you see that? I've got like 4 on here, and that's okay. What I've noticed is when I have one with the root, all I do is I just place it right on top. I didn't dig, I didn't anything else. I just placed it right on top. And then I'll end up just sprinkling it. I don't heavily water it. I sprinkle it every day, and they seem to be doing great. Like I said, these other ones, I sprinkle every other day, maybe every 2 days. These couple that popped off don't have a starting root, but I will plant them anyway, just to see if they'll start. Because what my plan is, locally here, people love succulents. Actually, everywhere I think people love succulents. And I got this from a lady who was she had signs, you know, like garage sale signs, but signs all up and down all kinds of streets saying plants for sale. Well, how can you not stop for plants for sale, right? So we stopped, and this was one of the 3 that we picked up. I think it was like $3. Like I said, it was tiny. It was like 3 times maybe that size. I went ahead and picked it up, never having had it before, had some of the little babies on the leaves, said, what the heck, let's go ahead and try it. What I'm planning on doing is transplanting these larger ones, and as they get larger, repotting them into their own pots and then selling them. I was planning on only doing it locally. However, I've had a few people out of state saying that they would love to get their hands on one. So the only thing is I need to learn how to ship them if I decide to do that, but it will include shipping in the price, simply because, as we all know, shipping is crazy right now. So anyway, what I'm going to do for, I do want to ask you guys your opinion or your advice, because like I said, this is the first time I've ever had this plant. I have done a little bit of research, but not a ton. Personally, I was going to go ahead and trim these leaves off here, because as you can, I don't know if you can see. Can you see? Let me see if you can see. You should be able to see. There is a new start right there, but it's growing off of the main stem. Same thing, right underneath this bottom leaf, there's another one growing under there, and it already has offspring on the leaf. I was going to cut these back. I just don't know. Do I somehow separate these from the main trunk? Or do I leave them? Will they grow this way, you know, sideways? What is your opinion? Anybody that has had these, what do you think? How did you do it? Just give me some advice. I'm going to still continue researching and finding more YouTube videos and stuff like that on these to see, you know, figure it out on my own. But this is a perfect way to learn. So what I'm going to do first is I'm going to go ahead and open this bag of dirt, put some into these pots. I'm going to transplant these 3. And yeah, then I'm going to go ahead and start moving these away. You know, let me go ahead and open the bag with you so we can, look at this. Look at this. There's 4 offspring right here, right there. 4 babies. Look at that. I have 2, 4, 6, 8, 10 right there. I mean, craziness, right? All right, so let's go ahead and open this, and let's see what this soil looks like, because again, I didn't even need my scissors. It's perforated. Yay! I actually end up keeping this, and then I will tie this. I'll kind of turn it, twist it, and then I'll just wrap this around it to keep it closed. So as long as the wind doesn't blow it away. Let's check this dirt out. Okay. Personally, I don't feel that there's enough sand or perlite in here. This is designed as a cactus, palm, and citrus potting mix though. So you can, I don't know. Can you see there is sand in here? It's just not necessarily as sandy as I would like. When we had gone to we had a couple of little like boutique shops that carried succulents. Let me tell you, they had the most ideal dirt. It was such a beautiful combination of sand and potting mix. It was wonderful. The succulents always did great. We still have them from 5-10 years ago. Loved that dirt. Unfortunately, I can't find that anywhere. So what I do need to do is I need to do more research so that I could go ahead and make my own dirt, just like I'm going to be doing that, just like I did on the blueberry plants. I want to create my own perfect potting mix for my succulents. Anyway, I will be right back. I'm going to go get some perlite. I have some in a bin outside. I'm going to go grab some so I can add a little bit, not as crazy as that, but add a little bit to this. So I'll be back in a minute. Okay, so I got some perlite, so what I'm going to just go ahead and do is scoop a little bit of dirt. I did put, it looks like a lot, but I'm going to mix it in with the dirt. Add a little bit more. Now with my regular plants, I don't necessarily pack the dirt in really tight. I probably should learn whether or not different like flowers or succulents or, you know, that type of thing, if they prefer not having as much air pockets in their containers, like the blueberry plants. You have to make sure that you compact everything in, because they do not want air pockets. So, okay, what I'm now going to go ahead and do is I'm going to, the thing is, these do not have a very deep root system. However, he does have a fairly decent root. All right, so now let's hope I don't kill him. That would suck, right? Let me move this out of the way. I'm kind of a perfectionist. I like things centered. I kind of got that from my mom. Let me grab a little bit more dirt to put in here. I have to remember that these are tiny pots and it doesn't take much dirt. I'm going to go ahead and spread that around a little bit. And I will water him. I don't know why. I always end up referring to my plants as hims. Is what it is. But look how cute. Look how cute he is. I hope he's focusing. Yeah. Look how adorable he is. I mean, is he not cute? He is just so freaking cute. Not even funny. Anyway. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and transplant, I think, these two, because these are the next two largest ones. And then, yep. So let's see what I need. I need both of these. I need to get my dirt, my perlite, and yeah. Okie dokie. So we got our 3 transplanted babies right here. I'm going to water them in a little bit, but what I wanted to do next, let's move those out of the way. I had a big breeze come in and the whole tablecloth came over. The rain evidently went southwest of us because for some reason the rain that's supposed to be hitting us just won't hit us lately. I don't quite understand that. But anyway, what I want to do before I decide to transplant these into this pot, I want to take some of, here are the 2 of those other ones. But anyway, I want to go ahead and take some of these that are in here and transplant them so that I can go ahead and get some new starts going in the mother dirt. So this, see, this now has some roots to it. Just trying to see if you can see that. Yep. So I'm just going to go ahead and transplant them every so often. I'm just lightly putting them under the dirt. Now this one has a lot of other debris in here, like mulch and stuff like that. But it seems to be doing decently with these. So I'm going to go ahead and transplant a few of these. Most of them I could just basically pull out and transplant. Now, what I did notice, the 2 that were sitting over here together, their roots had already started to intermingle. So I had to gently, I just kind of gently move them around so that they would just kind of undo themselves without trying to damage their root system. But I have several over here, as you can see right there. So that's what I'm going to do next. It's just my thing, even with flowers. I typically try to water right at the dirt, like right at the base, and avoid getting the plant wet. But again, this one doesn't seem to mind. But I do want to make sure to, sorry guys, I hope I didn't get into the screen. I do want to make sure that these get all of their nutrients, get nice and, you know, they're probably parched. They want some water, you know, they're thirsty too. What I did do though is I did put a little bit of the new dirt into this pot, just a very small top layer of it, because it was very much filled with the perlite, and it was very frustrating trying to get the roots to, I mean, they did take, a lot of them did take through the perlite, but it took them longer. So I went ahead and I did that, and with the Miracle-Gro in it, it'll probably help to fertilize it and give it more food. So we'll see what happens with it. It may grow even faster than it's growing right now. But like I said, I'm not sure what I'm going to do with this one. If I find another pot similar to this that's wide but shallow, because they have very shallow roots, I may go ahead and then transplant these. Right now I'm going to go ahead and leave them. They are very close together and they are doing well, so I have noticed that they have taken root pretty well and they are probably growing together. So I'll be very careful with separating these guys. But when I see, when these guys that I've done on video start to do well, I'll pop in show you guys like maybe in the middle of another video and say, hey, look at the progress here, and I'm going to go ahead and move these over to their own pots like I did the other 3. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope I wasn't too boring or repetitive or whatever the case may be. But again, if you guys enjoyed the video, I'd really appreciate a thumbs up, as well as would love it if you would go ahead and subscribe to my channel. Yes, it helps the channel, but I would love to get to know you guys. So hope you have a wonderful day. I will be back with another succulent plant where I'm actually separating the offspring from the plant. Here are 3 right now. There's 1 there and 2 here. I will be putting those into another pot. They'll probably start growing all together in one pot, and then as they grow larger, because they are slow growing, I will then go ahead and separate them and put them into individual pots and go from there. So have a wonderful day. Thank you again so incredibly much for your support. I really do appreciate it. You guys are amazing. And yeah, I will talk to you guys soon. Have a great day. Bye.